Hello, I'm Mrs. Spiller, and I'm going to introduce the Pearson BTEC Level 2 Award in Music Practice, which is our new music qualification for you guys next year. So, the course overview, we have 3 units, 2 internally assessed and 1 externally assessed. Instead of an exam at the end, a listening exam at the end, the final coursework unit gets marked by the exam board, so that's component 3. It is equivalent to 1 whole GCSE and is marked pass merit distinction. It's 100% coursework, and the course will be completed by the May of year 11. So in this course, we've got 3 assessed components. Component 1, C1, exploring musical products and styles, that's 30% of the final course. C2, musical skills development, that's 30% of the final course. And C3, component 3, responding to a musical brief, which is the final unit you'll do in year 11. So we do C1 in the January of year 10 to Easter. And then we do C2 from the summer of year 10 into the autumn of year 11, and then the January of year 11 to the Easter of year 11, we do C3. So component 1, exploring musical products and styles, it's 30% of the final course and is assessed internally by Mrs. Spiller and Mrs. Davies. It's learning about lots of different styles of music and making music in those different styles as well. So applying particular features or footsteps from the styles to pieces that you learn. Could be doing covers, could be, for example, learning about a bit of film music and applying some features from a specific film composer to a composition. Or it could be learning about pop music and applying a couple of features of rock and roll, for example, to a pop song of your choice. So you've got 2 learning outcomes and 2 ways of being assessed. So learning outcome 1 is learning about those musical styles, the artists, the producers who have impacted musical genres across the years, and learning about the development of technology. So we look at 6 groups of music. You've got things from film music to, like I said, rock and roll, pop, fusions, metal, trance, dubstep, house, folk music, jazz. There are so many different styles, and we're very much open to being led by the students in the class. So we often offer for students to suggest 1 or 2 styles that they're particularly a big fan of, and then we incorporate that into our teaching. So it's very much, the course is very much led by you at this point. So assessing that, we do a portfolio or a presentation of evidence that shows understanding of at least 5 styles, and then you'll take 4 of those forward, including musical analysis and making music in each style. So you might choose a song, analyze it a little bit, and then for example, take a piece of Ed Sheeran, focusing on sort of folk rock, and then you might do one of his riffs on the guitar and drop that in as an audio example. And then learning outcome 2, so pushing that a little bit forward, stretching and challenging yourself, learning about the different types of music products and musical performance techniques, and learning about software use in making music. And we assess that by you creating 4 small musical products. So it could be recreating a song on the computer, writing your own song in a particular style with a score alongside that, which you can do via Logic on Apple Macs. And you do a supporting commentary as well. So that's a written one as a PowerPoint, or it could be a blog, or it could be a small essay. Component 2, musical skills development. So that's the one we start with in year 10. And we work very much on those music skills from sort of the autumn of year 10 right through until the Easter of year 10. And that is 30% of your final course. And it is assessed internally by Mrs. Spiller and Mrs. Davies. It's very much about target setting and your journey of progress through your chosen skills. So whether that be performance and composition, or composition and sequencing, or sequencing and performance. And it's entirely up to you which 2 you do. Obviously, we strongly advise composition and performance because they are the 2 most common, but obviously, again, we're very much led by you. And there will be a theme linked to that. So you might get the theme of journeys or celebration or colour, and the compositions that you do or the pieces that you perform need to link to that theme. Again, 2 learning outcomes. Learning outcome 1 is demonstrating professional and commercial skills for the music industry. So that's learning about what it takes to be a good performer, what it takes to be a good composer, what it takes to be a good sequencer, learning about planning and management of making music, in other words, setting yourself targets and hitting those targets, and planning and creating a 2 to 4 minute original composition with written commentary and video audio files to support. So a series of mini ideas, and then maybe one finalized idea that's about 2 minutes long. And then your second learning outcome will be applying development processes for music skills and techniques. Again, looking at things, what makes yourself a good performer, what makes yourself a good composer, developing those composing and performance skills, and developing your logic skills to understand the technology effects. And again, creating a 2 to 4 minute music performance piece with a written commentary and video audio files to support. So it might be that you finish this unit with one composition and one performance, both having a link to the style of journeys, and you will have two PowerPoints to link to that with a list of your skills and your targets and how you have achieved them. Component 3, this is the final unit you do. So this is kind of like a consolidation of all the skills you've learned at BTEC over the 2 years. And this is responding to a musical brief. This is 40% of the final grade. And this one is assessed externally by the Pearson exam board. So we don't mark this one. This one goes off for moderation. It's very much learning about how to make your own music to a theme given by the exam board. So your learning outcomes, the exam board will give you a brief, could be a scenario, could be a particular style to focus on, or an event to make music for. And you need to plan, create, evaluate a music product in response to this brief. So it could be that you create a composition in relation to the brief and either perform that composition or recreate it on the computer. You submit yourself a commentary, a written commentary relating to your music and the brief and how you have achieved that, and submitting a self reflection relating to your creative processes, strengths, and areas for development. So, very much again, looking at yourself as a musician as a whole and how you have succeeded in hitting that brief, and obviously being self critical as well, and looking at where you could improve. So, a couple of myths just to kind of dispel then. No, you don't need to be able to read music to do this course. It is very heavily practical, but it very, very much focuses on musicians at any stage in their musical journey, whether you are just starting out as a musician or whether you have been a musician for a number of years. It's all about your progress that you make and the targets that you set and how successfully you achieve those targets. So, you don't need to be a specific grade on an instrument. You don't need to be able to play pieces to a specific standard like grade 3 or grade 5. There is no grade standard, and you don't need to be having any instrumental lessons. Naturally, all of these things will help you become a better musician, but they are not imperative to completing the course. What we do require is you to be able to set yourself targets and proceed and progress through those targets. We do need you to be able to work by yourself and as part of an ensemble as well, so as part of a group. It would be good that you are completing your coursework to a deadline, being driven and able to work independently, being enthusiastic around learning and new styles, being willing to improve your music skills in all three areas: composition, performance, and production. So, very much getting yourself stuck in, making yourself known around the music department, spending as much time as humanly possible in the department, utilizing our practice rooms and our music technology, and really just exploring all those different musical styles and being creative and really just enjoying and immersing yourself in music as a whole. So, we're really excited about launching this course for year 9. It is a relatively new course that only was released a couple of years ago, so we're very excited about this. If you have any questions, please come and find Mrs. Davies or Mrs. Spiller, and we'll be happy to answer any questions for you. Thank you very much.